Hello YouTube world, Mac Daddy 1911A1 here. I'm going to do a video with a wee bit of a twist. Let's read what you see there. That scene was one of the most inspiring scenes in any comic book I ever read. And it happened to be in Daredevil. In this particular issue right here. And of course, it'd be hard for me to get it all on the camera, but it was issue 233 in August. I believe this was 86, August of 1986. And that right there made me a humongous fan of Captain America. But the point behind this video is simply to put a question out there. Who or what was your favorite comic book series, and who was your comic book heroes if you did indeed collect comics? I did not collect Daredevil. My friend Uncle Fester, he was a Daredevil fan, big time. Therefore, he was the Daredevil collector, but I begged and borrowed when I read these two issues. That was part 2, Armageddon. And part 1 of that particular one about Nuke was God and Country. Both were excellent. Excellent. More adult themed than child themed, that's for sure. It was a great series while it lasted. Up until that point, I think my hero was Sergeant Rock from DC Comics. It has been so long since I read them that I had forgotten that DC was actually the manufacturer, the publisher, I should say, of Sergeant Rock. But I was a World War II buff, still am, and I collected Sergeant Rock. And the runner-up, I think, I could not find very many Sergeant Rocks for whatever reason, but the runner-up in the favorites category had to have been the Incredible Hulk. And you're like, wait a minute now, the Incredible Hulk's green. Yeah. Well, he actually started off gray. And then later on, in the 300s, he became gray again. And it was a great series. But you can see, of course, I had went on way back and he was green. So that is the one that I collected the most prolifically. The second one that I loved the most, or the third one I loved the most, was probably G.I. Joe. I did not collect very many of those because my brother Chad did that. And when he became a Jehovah's Witness, he tore every single one of them up. And I mean, he had literally several, it seems like several hundred. It was up, well, maybe not. It was up only to 84. When Serpentor came out, and so it was probably right in the middle of it. So he probably had every single one from about 1985 or 86 forward until he got out of it. Another one that I really loved was G.I.Combat and the Haunted Tank, which was a Sherman tank, and I believed that comic. Okay, in reality, the Sherman tank was a death trap for American soldiers fighting in that thing. Tiger tank, like this Mark 6 right here where my thumb is at. That's the early model Tiger tank, was probably 10 tons, 15 tons heavier, maybe more. Had an 88mm high velocity cannon, and it would eat a Sherman for lunch, like it apparently did in that illustration. That was one of my most sought after. One that I was able to collect every single issue was Mark Hazard as Merc. Got every single copy, including the one where he got killed. Enjoyed that. The artwork was not the best, but it wasn't the worst either. Had a great story most of the time. I enjoyed it. Then, of course, there was Punisher. Uncle Fester and my brother Chad, I believe, both collected Punisher, and I enjoyed the series also. It was pretty good. Never did like any of the movies until the last one that I saw, which was Warzone, I believe is what it was called. But I always enjoyed the comic. Now, on to my absolute favorite comic magazine. That would be Savage Tales. It's always someone, I was a teenager at the time, and there's always some way, shape, or form they slipped in a little bit of nudity, girly nudity, in that, just barely into the issues, and I could not wait to see next month to see what they had. And for instance, let me get my camera moved in here, right there, just at the edge, and it's just a drawing, but boy, when you 14, 15 years old, there's all kind of things that kind of stuff does for a man. So, but anywho, those were the comics that I collected. Still have them all. I'm not one of the fanatics that has to have them in a certain type of plastic and all this kind of good stuff. But since then, they've had graphic novels. Teen Yankee was one of the graphic novels I purchased. I've got another one from World War II around here somewhere. That one there I got for like 10 cents or something, so I bought it. But other than that, but anyway, the point of the video is, tell us, comment, what was your favorite comic book character? Now, I loved G.I. Joe, I loved Batman, I loved Spider-Man, and as a matter of fact, some of the Incredible Hulk, you'll see those different characters some. Like right here, the Iceman, and whoever heck those girls are, Cyclops, I think that's his name. And I know somewhere in there, Spider-Man was in there at one time. You name it. The Hulk either was helping or battled against all the superheroes at one time or another, depending on how pissed off he was. That one right there was probably one of my favorites. 333. I just love the artwork in it. And he was absolutely mad at the world. And this one there, Spider-Man, I was telling you about, and this is when he was Mr. Fix-It. I can't go into details because I can't remember exactly all the stuff that went on. But I enjoyed the Hulk series while it lasted. You can see right there, they even had his up in the corner there as dressed up as Mr. Fix-It. And dude was seriously bad attitude. And then again, over the years, him and Wolverine fought quite a bit. But on occasion, well, that's actually Wolverine's issue instead of Hulk, but it had the Hulk in it, so I put it in here with it. And there's this issue of Spider-Man with the Hulk fighting some robotic mercenaries, I do believe, if I remember correctly. And how about that? I mean, a destroyed spaceship next. And this is on up into the 400s. I didn't even know I had got that high. But he was bad to the bones. All I got to say about that one. But anywho, this is Mac Daddy 1911A1. Oh, whoa, wait. I was fixing to sign off. For a while there, they actually had a Terminator series. And it was okay. The story sucked. And of course, up there in the corner, there's the Nam. I mean, back then they had a lot of movies on Vietnam experience and all this, and that the war, and I was really into the Vietnam thing for a while. But to all my subscribers and anyone else who may come across this, what was your favorite comic book and or comic book hero or heroes? Because we all know that they had, there was the West Coast Avengers, the Avengers, and blah, blah, on and on and on and on. So the question simply is this: who was your favorite comic book hero? I like the Hulk because he went around smashing everything in sight. but I also liked a lot of other characters. I've since moved on in my life, and I've got to have something that's got some brains to it. Okay, I can't stand stupid movies, whether they only have like most horror movies bore me to tears. I don't care for movies just because they got boobs in them. I mean, I'm too old for that mess. I've had my share of boobs, and they're nice, but they're not all they're cracked up to be. They don't solve the world's problems, you know what I'm saying? But I got to have a good story. It's got to have it's got to be a good story before I waste my time on it anymore. So the question is, what was your favorite? Hope this brings back some memories, and maybe it'll get a good discussion started sometime or another. This is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalist, signing off. Thank you for watching.